I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. How do you feel?
We're mad as hell, and we're not going to take this anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Alex Bennett News Hour with politics and dirty tricks. Tony from Queens, and let me ask you a question. Mr. I Know So and his daily prep sheet. At 212-604-9500, another segment of Vox Populi. And starring the mad prophet of the airwaves, Alex Bennett.
Hey, everybody, how are you? Welcome. Well, I'm just looking at today's show. Hi, how are you? What's happening? How's your family? Did you have a good weekend? I'm glad you did. It was what? Almost 70 degrees in New York City. That was the good news, right, Albert?
I believe it was over 70 degrees.
So over 70?
Yes, officially.
What was the bad news? Tell me what the bad news was.
Rain.
Raining.
Yeah. But that's not bad news when it's 70 degrees on the 20th of, December or whatever date it was.
Yeah, it's that damn
22nd.
It's that damn global warming the Republicans say doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You believe in global warming, don't you, Albert?
Global warming, global cooling, I believe in all of it.
Yeah. I believe in snow globing.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you turn the world upside down and it's a nice little snowfall. Hi. So, welcome. It's Monday. I don't know, my neck's killing me today. What do you think happened? I slept wrong or maybe it's jaundice or what's that thing you get? Spinal meningitis. I always worry when I get a neck ache that I've got spinal meningitis. I haven't been that much of a hypochondriac lately, have I, Albert?
No, don't start that again.
Yeah, but no, I really haven't been, have I?
No.
You see, when things are not going well, my life's not hell. I'm married to a wonderful woman. She's working. We've got a snow globe. How bad can things be, right, Albert?
You ask for it, you get it.
See? Anyway, when things in my life are up in the air, let's say, like I don't have a radio job right now, and we're trying to make this thing work, and that's not the easiest thing in the world because the internet is not a smooth sailing trip to massive amounts of money, right, Albert? So
not yet, it's not.
When my life is going good, that's when I start becoming a hypochondriac. Because I have to have some kind of, as the Jews call it, surus going on in my life. So that's the way it works. Hey, Albert, why don't you show them who you are so they just don't hear this disembodied voice as we go to our wonderful two-shot, which I love that shot. I could do I could do the whole show this way.
No, I don't think so. That's not a good idea.
I feel like Larry King or something talking to somebody across the coast or across the country.
It's actually only about 30 feet.
It's actually only 30 feet, and we had to do it this way, all right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that camera looks good, too.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
All balanced nicely.
Nice light from different areas, yeah.
And someday you aren't here or you get sick or something like that, I can just go in there and do the show from there.
You can. Just pull it out a little bit and you're okay.
What?
The background looks good, too, today.
The background looks terrific because we have that, we put a phony background back there. Well, it's not a phony
is that what
background.
it is? Okay.
It's actually a physical background.
Yeah. With the doorknob on it.
We tried putting a blue felt thing on it so that you could put maybe a newsroom in back of you.
Yeah. Phony newsroom.
Phony newsroom.
I'm not big on phony sets. Just me.
Well, I'd never use a phony set on this program.
No.
I don't feel comfortable when I'm on a phony set.
You're right. You're right about that.
Let's face it. The money we spent building this set was worth every penny, wasn't it?
And it's just a good feeling when you get your hands into it. That's what I like about it.
And when you take when you do what you did, which you put down all that linoleum, or what is that?
It wasn't actually linoleum. It's marble.
It's
so
marble.
It's a lot more difficult than linoleum.
You put down the marble?
Yeah. Look at the black marble. I can
really?
show you.
Take a long shot of me if you can.
Let me see if I have.
Go do one shot of me and then I guess pull back, huh?
No, hold on. Let me see what. See,
There we
there's
go.
marble
Now-
there.
Now pull back. Let them see the.
That is pulled back.
Oh, is that pulled back
Yeah.
all the way? Get rid of the lower
Yeah.
third. See what we're talking about with the tile down there?
Yeah, it's all marble. It's not linoleum.
And you know, before the show, Albert has to look at the clips,
Yeah.
get all the equipment ready,
Right.
and then you have to come out here with a rotary buffer and buff the floor.
No, come on, don't make that up.
What do you mean don't make it up?
Because there's a guy that does that.
I know we have a guy that does
Come on, I
that.
can't do everything.
Yeah, and you know, and I have all the TV sets around me. The only thing I can't figure out, Albert, is when we go to this shot,
Yeah.
why my background changes.
Because I don't know.
It's the angle.
No, we superimpose that, you know, because it goes with these stripes up here,
Yeah.
you know, because
Yeah.
it goes with that.
And if
I
you
figured we'd put that same-
if you had a blue background,
Yeah.
you would probably get those same.
I could have the
stripes.
same thing.
You
yeah.
probably get them in red or something.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a different
yeah.
color for yours.
I would love that.
I could come out there and we could put up the cloth, you know.
No, forget about the cloth. We'll just go back to you.
The blue cloth, yeah. Hi. Oh, even more festive. We're getting closer to Christmas, aren't we?
Only 2 days away.
Only 2 days away, and then it's all over with. Do you feel it's Christmassy at all, Albert?
And I don't celebrate it, so
You know,
it doesn't
when
matter
it's
to
in the
me.
middle of the week. Now, folks, here's what we're doing. We're taking Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off. Because we have to let our massive staff have the Christmas holiday off, right?
Right.
And then, what's with
Don't
my-
talk about your massive staff, please.
Well, I like to talk about
I bet you
massive
do.
staff. It's well known. But no, let me just close this because I don't like the thing showing. There we go. That looks nice. Okay. So anyway, where were we? Oh yeah. We have to let them have the Christmas holiday off, and then next week we'll be doing Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I got a rough night on the 30th, Albert.
Yeah, why?
My friend Mark Garland is holding his usual yearly Christmas party, but he's doing it on a Monday. Why, I have no idea, but it's on the 30th.
Well, that's after Christmas. What's the point?
Well, he doesn't celebrate Christmas
Oh, so it's a holiday party.
because he's an atheist, but it's a holiday party. It's a holiday gathering. He does it every year, and it's very nice. Gilbert Gottfried shows up, and a bunch of people I like, you know? But this year, I've got to do a show in the morning and then turn around, and a couple hours later, we're doing a show over at WOR here in New York.
Right.
So I have to go to this party, and I'm going to have to tell them I'm only going to spend an hour there and go home and go to sleep.
Well, it's like the old days.
Well, yeah, but I'm feeling rested. I got to feel rested, right?
Yep.
Although I don't mind if I do that last radio show groggy. I'm always better when I'm groggy, don't you think?
No.
What? You've seen days when I've come in and I was tired, and the shows are really good.
There have been times.
You know why?
But I wouldn't say it as a rule that you're better when you're groggy.
Well, no, it's because you're less self-censoring. Mm-hmm. You're a little more freer with the. By the way, when we do OR, do they have a button over there to push?
What do you mean a button?
A button, for delay.
No, they're all in delay. Always.
No, but I mean, they're always in delay. But then, do you have a button you can push if I say something
Oh,
wrong?
to dump it.
Huh?
Yeah, they have several dump buttons there.
They have several dump buttons
Yeah.
because, you know, this will be the first time you and I together have ever done a terrestrial radio program
Correct.
that wasn't on Sirius XM where we could say anything we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm afraid that with you in the room, I will think it's the same thing and I will accidentally let go with one. So we do have a button in case I
We do, but I won't be in the same room. I'll be in another room.
You'll be in another room. And you'll be
Yeah.
able to talk on the air too, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, you better be able to, because I can't do my show without you.
Oh, you can.
Huh?
You can.
No, I can't. No. Not as I can do the show without you. It just wouldn't be as good. Okay?
Well, that's true.
You're not denying that. Oh, what happened to that funny blue background I had in that other shot? Just disappeared completely. Why is it snowing outside the globe?
Snowing all over.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Inside and outside.
Well, we hope you're all going to have a happy, Merry Christmas. And be sure to go out and go to Target and use those credit cards. Huh?
Yeah. Well, they did a nice thing because we went yesterday to Target.
Yeah.
And they gave everybody 10% off on all your purchases because of this whole.
That is so fucking phony baloney,
fiasco.
I can't believe it.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's Christmas holiday season,
Yeah.
right? It's the last couple of days before the end of the Christmas buying season, right?
Right.
And what do they do at that point? They lower prices on everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they go, oh, we're going to give you 10% off. They were probably planning on doing that anyway.
No, it's an extra 10% off.
Extra 10% off the savings you're already getting at Target?
Exactly.
Does that really make up for having your identity stolen?
Not really, no. But it's a nice little PR stunt.
Yeah, we'll get into that. They really, Target really got screwed. I really wish it were Walmart instead of Target because I don't like Walmart. But Target seems to be, they seem to be okay, right? They're decent
Yeah,
people.
everybody loves Target.
You know. But apparently they don't have really good people watching their backs when it comes to security. Because, what, 40,000 credit cards were compromised?
Well, I think so, something like that.
And then they turn around and sell them to people, and then people go use them. And then, but they're not good now, I would imagine. I would imagine it's all over already. But whoever was going to make money out of that made money out of it. I'm sure of that. Anyway, we got a lot of things to talk about today. Some of them, few politics. You know, you hate the politics, right, Albert? Albert just is getting.
I'm not very fond of it lately.
Getting
no.
to the point where he just doesn't even want to talk about politics. You just want to turn this show into a studio dose, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Either
Something
that,
fun.
Either that, or we could call it a Studio Inc.
Well, we'll get a name for it.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
But what would we'd have a midget on it?
A dwarf.
A dwarf.
Right. Small person.
A small person. A diminutive type. We'd also have good. A lot of women wearing bikinis. And then we couldn't have mariachi bands because this is
Why
not
not?
a Spanish language TV show. What?
That's one thing I don't ever want to hear. We can't.
Well, we don't want mariachi.
Do you
bands.
like a mariachi band?
Occasionally,
Okay,
I want a
so do I.
mariachi band.
So occasionally we have a mariachi band.
But I mean, what kind of bands what kind of entertainers would we have on?
Well, our friend Richard here just turned me on to the Catholic girls.
Oh,
We'll have them on.
they don't exist anymore, do they?
I don't know. He says they do.
They do. Could we get the Catholic girls in to perform? I mean, I'm willing to turn this into. We could have a studio audience here, and a studio audience. And then we could do a studio. In case you don't know what a studio dose is, do you have any clip there, Albert, of...
Of a studio dose?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
Here's the show that Albert wants to do on American TV, but, you know, you want to do an American TV version of it, but not change any of the major touchstones of what is one of the finest programs in all of television, right?
I'm going to go on record as saying it's a hoot.
It's a hoot.
It's
and
a hoot.
it's on, what is it, Gala TV, is it? Or Australia?
I don't even know what it's
Australia
on
TV.
anymore.
You can find it. Most cable systems carry Australia TV. They have a bunch of other good shows. Like they also have the guy with the clown.
Right, the clown host, yeah.
The clown host.
But see, that to me, that's a boring show because it's the same as Leno and Letterman, except he's dressed like a clown. That I'll give him.
I think that makes it.
It certainly makes it. It's better than Leno and Letterman in that respect. But, you know, it's the same, the desk
Like,
and the...
I had the idea that if I came out and did this show every day wearing complete clown makeup and then just did a straight political show.
Huge.
Be huge.
You're right. You're right about that.
But, I mean, no comedy. I'm just wearing the clown
You're
face.
right about that. That's what we should have done 6 months ago.
You know something? I had thought about it about a month or two ago, but it entails me learning how to do clown makeup, which, believe it or not, I looked it up, is not the easiest thing in the world to do. You whiten up, but then you got to do the big, you know, smiley lips, and then I know I can go out and buy one of those noses,
Let me put it to you this way. If I say to you, you're going to make 6 figures with the clown makeup, how difficult is clown makeup now?
Very easy.
See?
Very
See?
easy.
It's all a matter of
Do
perspective.
you think we would really get any traction with that?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna use profanity here. Fuck yes.
Fuck yes. Okay. Because I'm thinking maybe what we do is we do that, but for YouTube.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I just come on and I start ranting and raving about Obamacare. But there's nothing clown about it except my clown face.
Exactly.
But that means I have to cut this all off.
Let me say again, if I mention that there's 6 figures involved, is that a problem?
Would you work with me on this little project?
And let me say again, if there's 6 figures involved, I'm there in a second.
Well, we don't know how much is involved, but we can certainly put it up on YouTube and see if it gets any traction. But I'm going to have to cut the beard off and the mustache because it's very hard to put the clown makeup on if you got this. Okay? Does not look good when you try to put the...
Well, how bad does it look? If it looks really horrible, that may be good too.
That could be. That could be. But I would want real clown makeup. Like, do we have... Just play that open. Do you have that opening I have for the Mexican thing? And it's a guy at the very end.
Well, I'll give you Machete first because I have him.
Oh, you got Machete first?
I have the Studio Dos you were going to play.
Okay, folks, watch it. This is the show we want to do on American television, but we want to call it like Studio 2, and we want to make it American, which means, of course, but we don't want to change certain aspects, like women must wear the skimpiest bikinis possible, right? Look at those women, huh? And those are midgets, actually.
I love it.
Yeah. And now Machete is coming out.
Here comes Machete.
There he is.
I know what we can call ours. Machine gun.
Huh?
Machine gun we'll call ours. Machine gun, machine gun, machine gun.
Machine gun.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Here come his henchmen. Drag him away. And the girls don't miss a step. That's what I like. And he's still singing, and they drag him away. Silly stringed and squirted with the water gun.
Now we need to find a dwarf somewhere. Do you think maybe we could get the guy from Game of Thrones, or is he too expensive?
No, Dinklage is not available.
Dinklage is not available. How about a Dinklage? Here's what they do in Hollywood. Can I give you a Hollywood pitch? Get me a Dinklage type.
Get me Dinklage.
Get me a Dinklage type.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Dinklage is too nice looking, though. You want somebody who looks... I mean, Machete kind of looks disgruntled.
He's got his look. He's got his own special look.
Yeah. And that's the show we want to do on American television. That's Albert's dream.
And you want to see the clown, right?
Yeah, you got the clown there? Here's that opening I did, and he's at the very end. That, by the way, that's Iris Chacon. Remember her?
Is it?
Oh, yeah. There's Machete.
There's the dancing girls.
They got a dwarf
Another.
Okay, that's him. That is actually a talk show host on
Every
Spanish
day he dresses
TV.
like this.
What?
Every day he dresses like this.
Every day he dresses. He comes out, does a monologue. We don't have the clip anymore of the show, do we?
I don't think so, no.
If you do, see, because...
I don't think you need the clip. Just look
but
at this guy, and he's doing the Letterman
show.
show.
Is like from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's in Spanish, and it's this clown walking across the street or looking up at the Hollywood sign, and then he comes out and he does a monologue, and then he goes to the desk and he does his little desk bits with pictures and things like that.
What is the show called? I see it on the cup. Noches de Platanitos?
Yes.
Which means Nights of Bananas.
His name is Banana. That's his clown name.
Nights with Bananas.
Nights with Bananas.
Right.
So
Evenings with Bananas.
And he comes out like that every night.
I see Noches con Bennett.
Noches con Bennett.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Or didn't you, what's the name for old guy that you had?
Viejo.
Viejo.
Noches con Viejo.
Noches con Viejo.
Right.
Right? But then I can be surrounded by these women in bikinis, right?
You must be.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, but how do you think girlfriend? How do you think that'll sit with girlfriend?
Have I
guess
mentioned
we're making
before?
6 figures.
6
she'll go for
figures.
it.
6 figures. That's a girlfriend will love it.
If nothing more, Albert, we could just get 6 women in bikinis, and that would be 6 figures, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's not the kind of 6 figures I'm interested in.
That's what keeps me out of the big money.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, who knows what we're going to do today, because I don't know. We have somebody here who said, what are you going to do on the show today? And I went, damned if I know. Anyway, stay where you are, okay? I'll pretend now like I'm reading something. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Welcome back. I'm Alex Bennett, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Great American Broadcast. If you're watching at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, we are live. If you're watching us at any other time, this is simply a constant streaming replay of the show we did earlier in the day, and you should enjoy that. You can also go to tunein.com, go look for the Great American Broadcast. You'll find us there live. And then when we aren't live, we're playing back all kinds of shows there. I'm thinking of trying later today. I don't know.
What about the Great American Broadcast app? Come on, don't forget.
Oh, the Great American Broadcast app.
Right.
I got to remember that. And don't forget also, we're on iTunes every day. About, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern, we put it up. So you can just listen to it, wherever you are. Subscribe, please subscribe to the Great American Broadcast on iTunes, and then it will download automatically every day to your iPhone. Good deal, huh? And it'll also do the same thing if you have the app for. If you have go get the Great American Broadcast app, you can hear all the old shows. Okay, they're all there, right? Let me see here. Any other ways you can do this? Oh yeah, and then there's this app that picks up iTunes type programs. What's it called again, Albert? I keep forgetting.
Podcast Addict.
Podcast Addict, which
Yes.
will do the same thing. So, oh man, I bought some Advil, and I took it, and my neck's still killing me. Let me see here. Let's see what we got on the phone this morning. Doug in North Carolina. Hi, Doug.
Merry Christmas, you old Jew. How you doing?
Okay, thank you.
Hey, I just want to let you know, my Friday was probably the most interesting day of my life. It could have been the worst day of my life, but it ended up being a really good day.
What?
It all first started with, when I was talking to you on Friday, usually what I do is when I'm at the office on Friday, I'm watching your program, and then when you pick up, I usually will put your show right on pause or something. And so nobody can hear what I'm saying. There's been several times I've called into your show before, and haven't really said too many complimentary things about some people at work or work itself. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad we didn't go that direction Friday, because we were talking about Duck Dynasty. And thank God you pretty much dominated the conversation, which I'm glad you did, because you're pretty much expressing the point of view they did. It was like, or the people at the work, is like, hey, they hired a bunch of hillbillies. What do you expect?
Well,
so,
I mean, that's exactly the point.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because after our phone conversation, I walk in, there's 5 of my coworkers gathered around my desk watching your show, and I'm just thinking, it's like, oh my God, what would have happened if I, said some of the stuff I did in the past? I would have been fired, pretty much. So I'm so glad it didn't go that direction. So anyway, we had our Christmas party, so that could have been the worst day of my life.
By the way,
right
in
there.
case they're huddled around your watching the show now, he usually says disparaging, horrible things about you. And what a terrible bunch of people you are. Am I saying things that might get you fired?
As I said, it was just been very. Maybe
I'm kidding, folks. Just in case you're listening, I'm kidding.
I know. But anyway, so later on that afternoon, we had our Christmas party, and at the end of towards the end of the party, they have like a big drawing for a big grand prize.
Yeah.
Typically, this one was a 47-inch smart TV by Vizio, an 8-inch tablet, Android tablet, some speakers, a $100 gift certificate from Walmart, and a couple other things, and I won it.
You won it?
Yeah, won all that stuff on Friday.
What'd you win?
Congratulations.
You won a Vizio
47-inch smart TV where you can hit Netflix and all that kind of stuff. An 8-inch tablet, so really don't need a laptop anymore.
Yeah.
And so I felt, I felt really bad. It was like, God, here I said stuff about this company, and wow, I'm getting all this stuff from them. So I'll
now,
never ever say anything.
How many people are there where you work?
About 100.
So you had 100-to-1 chance of winning this damn thing.
Yep, and I won it all, and and I was kind of kidding around with some people, like, I wonder what the first porno movie I'm going to watch on this television set is, as soon as I win it, and just kidding around. I didn't think I had a chance of winning it, and when they called my number out, it was like, whoa. But it's funny when I got home how my wife wanted my tablet, my daughter wanted the TV.
Yeah, is the TV 3D?
No, it's not 3D.
Forget it.
So. But it's still a great picture, though, and everything. But also on Friday, Charlie brought up a good point with this Duck Dynasty thing about, how Fox reacted with the Dixie Chicks, how they pretty much cheered the boycott against Dixie Chicks and all that. So
it's very hypocritical of all the right-wingers who are now defending, what's his name, Robertson? Forget his name. Because they're defending him. But they were the first ones to throw, Martin Bashir into the toilet,
Oh, exactly.
And I guess Martin Bashir has his First Amendment right. Second? Is it second or first?
They didn't care about his First Amendment rights there. Or
First Amendment rights. They didn't care about his, but they're, this guy, because he's a right-winger, because he's a big religious guy,
Well, I called up the local right-wing show here in Wilmington and brought up that point about the Dixie Chicks and all that. Boy, he tried to deflect from that so damn fast.
Yeah.
It was like he tried to go sort of like, well, they're violating his religious rights and all that.
And what the Dixie Chicks said wasn't even that terrible. All the Dixie Chicks said was, we're here to say, this was in England, we're sorry that we're from the same state as George Bush. Yeah. That's all they said. That's all Natalie Main said. And then all of a sudden, people are not selling their records anymore, and they're protesting against him. Yet this guy goes out after people and their differences. Okay, in a country in which differences should be celebrated rather than be vilified. And they're all defending him. Now look, I'll defend him. Okay. He's a religious nutcase, and I'm an atheist because of guys like this. Because you take religion to an extreme, and this is what you get, okay? But I will defend his right to say what he said. But who bothers me really is A&E, this network who put him on in the first place. He's been this religious guy for the longest time. He goes in front of groups. He's been making these anti-gay speeches for a couple of years now. And all of a sudden, because it winds up in GQ, in an interview that was probably set up by the PR department at A&E, they're suddenly trying to distance themselves from it. Oh, we have nothing to do with this. You have everything to do with it. Nobody would be paying attention to this guy if he didn't put this ZZ Top wannabe on the air in the first place.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I just like how people pick and choose, what things they want to do with religion, like this talk show host I was talking to today. And he'll probably never put me back on this program.
You're what we call in this business a chronic. You call all these talk shows. Why do you call them? Do you think you're going to change anybody's mind?
The reason why I call them because I'm on the road all the time, and I'd rather be talking to somebody on the other side than talking to my damn self. So now, but like this radio show I called up, though, he's quickly deflected to his religious rights and how he believes this and this and this. And I said, well, if you're so religious, Tyler, isn't there something against gluttony? And he didn't like it because Tyler's heavy set.
Of course. Well, here's the thing. This is why I hate religion. This is why I profess that I'm an atheist, even though I do have some private spiritual beliefs, is because I don't like... This guy is a perfect example of what's wrong with religion. The intolerance involved in this man's statements, based upon what he thinks is a giving and forgiving God, is unbelievable. It is just unbelievable. And but I will defend his right to say it. I don't think A&E should put. Well, to begin with, they say we're taking him off the show for a while. Well, they're not filming the show anymore. They're all through for this year.
Yeah, they're saying the new season is going to be on it because they've already.
Well, I mean, all they got to do is when they start the new season, go, okay, well, your time's up now. But he hasn't been working anyway. Now you got a graphic for it, Albert. You got Cracker Barrel. Have you heard this deal? The Cracker Barrel people, who are what is Cracker Barrel exactly, Albert? It's a barrel full of crackers.
Type restaurant chain. It's a down-homey type restaurant chain with food that is going to clog your arteries the minute you eat it, but it's tasty.
Is
like
it
kind of Southern hospitality food.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have like a little gift shop that sells like little hokey things like boxes of Cracker Jack or button candy
and stuff from the show.
Do they sell dildos and things like that there?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But if they knew it would make them money, they'd sell it in a second because they're sellouts, these people.
Yeah, well, what happened was Walmart said they were going to stick by the Duck Dynasty people because obviously the Duck Dynasty people, see, I don't watch that show. I have no desire to buy a duck call. But I had a doctor once who was a quack. Does that count? Anyway, what happened with Cracker Barrel is, as opposed to Walmart, they said we're going to take all their stuff off the shelves because apparently they carry a lot of the Duck Dynasty products. I guess Duck Dynasty Camo, Duck Dynasty Duck Calls, Duck Dynasty Beards. I don't know. Anyway, they said they weren't going to carry that stuff. They were going to take it off the shelves, and then they recanted. They decided, no, we won't do away with it. I guess they got a lot of protests from people, because
yeah, I think they did.
I mean, it says Cracker Barrel is back in business with all the members of the Duck Dynasty clan. According to TMZ.com, the Tennessee-based restaurant chain is lifting its ban on merchandise bearing the image of reality show patriarch Phil Robertson. Just one day after imposing it, Cracker Barrel reportedly cited the angry backlash it received from Duck Dynasty fans. Why is this show even a hit? I don't know. Have you ever watched it, Albert?
Never.
I've never seen it.
No.
What is it about have you ever seen it, Doug?
No, I have not, and I haven't seen Honey Boo Boo or all the other garbage shows.
I mean, I have to admit, I've seen Honey Boo Boo once, so I know what I was talking about, but I have never watched Duck Dynasty. There is I want to watch guys wearing beards who sell duck calls? What
about the only reality show.
Is that the last TV show we're ever going to invent because we've run out of all other ideas?
Now, the only show I watch American Pickers. I watch Pawn Stars, and that's about it.
Pawn Stars I like.
Yeah.
You know, Pawn Stars is fun because Pawn Stars is kind of like Antiques Roadshow. Like, how much is this thing worth? Okay, and it's it has that appeal. So I don't know.
Anyway. Well, listen, if I don't talk to you tomorrow, have a Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and everything else.
Yeah, I'm going to have
you
didn't wish me a Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
And since I am black, well, don't laugh. My real name is Schwarzman, and translated into the German, that means black man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. Now, don't think that there was some. Don't think that there was some black blood in my family. Not that I would feel bad if I did. I would have this pallor.
I wonder what my friend. I'm sorry.
But it's because blacksmith.
Well, I'm scared to see what my last name and my French last name would translate to. Is probably be pussy or something like that.
Probably. Pussy watcher.
Anyway,
thanks for calling.
You take care.
Okay, bye-bye. And we'll be back. We got more calls, and we'll take them in just a second. Stay right where you are. The Alex Bennett program, the Great American Broadcast, rolls on. Welcome back. This is the Alex Bennett program. This is a Great American Broadcast, and we got another caller here, so let's go to it. By the way, that's our number there, 212-604-9500 if you want to talk to us. Hi, it's Alex.
Good morning, Alex. Evan from Long Island. How you doing?
How you doing, Evan?
Pretty good. I used to be a regular audience member in your San Francisco studio audiences.
We used to have, we actually were the only radio program in America before or since, I think. It had a regular live studio audience, yeah.
It was a great show. We did the shows first on Sutter Street and then down on 9th Street.
Yep.
I was looking up out of the blue about Monty Hoffman, and I just understand that he passed away.
He passed away this year, yeah.
Yeah, in October. I was very sad.
I've had a lot of people I know who died this year. This is not a good year from people who know me.
But do you foresee doing any comedy shows here on the East Coast?
Not really, no.
No. Yeah, that getting to meet people.
What I did at the time was possible. You know, I couldn't even have a live studio audience in a studio anymore. They'd go crazy with the idea of just letting people come in and sit in a studio. You know. In those days, it all started by accident one day when I said, oh, maybe he wants to come down and see how the show's done. Come on down. And like 200 people showed up. And from then on in, I said, let's have a studio audience. And we started having a studio audience, and our studio could hold, we actually had it set up so we could hold 50, 60 people at a time. And it was unique. Really quite unique. And the reason I did it was because we had comedians on the show all the time. And have them play to nobody, you know, it doesn't work. They need an audience, and it gooses them on. So it worked very well.
Yeah, we got Steve Pearl was a great one.
Yep.
And you've had Bobcat Goldthwait.
Bob pretty much started on my show.
Yeah, and then he introduced us to who's the guy who did the voice? Tom Kenny.
Tom Kenny is SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, right. Mm-hmm. And Monty, of course, he was hysterical. He was my favorite. And I was really sorry to see he passed away this year.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed those days, and I'm glad to. Then you left from San Francisco, you went down to Florida?
Yeah, well, I got fired from Live 105.
Okay.
And I went down to Florida, WIOD in Miami. Worst of my whole career, that was the worst time in my life. It really was. It was horrible.
That was a talk radio station.
Yeah, and it was, but, you know, they offered me good money, and, you know, so I moved down to Florida, and I think I lasted 3 months down there. And I went back to San Francisco, and it turned out that they weren't doing too well, having gotten rid of me. And so they made a deal and brought me back, and we stayed there for I think another maybe what I came back in '81 was over. Was it '81? No, '91.
91,
and was over in '97. So I was there for about 6 more years.
Okay, and then what happened?
Then what happened is they fired me again. Everybody thinks that's a good idea, and they got rid of me, and on I went to obscurity. I worked for Clear Channel in San Francisco for a short time, CNET Radio for about a year, and then I just decided, hey, it was all over in San Francisco, and I moved back to New York because a lot of people said you still have an audience back here, and I came back and I pursued working at Sirius XM for a while, and finally got a job there and lasted there 9 years and 2 months until they finally decided, like everybody else has in my career, they didn't need me any longer. So here I am.
Well, I'm glad I found this program. This is entertaining enough to keep my morning fulfilled, and appreciate
what are you doing? Effort. What are you doing now, Evan? What brought you to the East Coast?
Well, the economy dried up pretty bad in the late '80s in San Francisco, and currently I'm doing insurance auditing.
Really? And what brought you to Long Island in particular?
Family was here.
Oh, okay.
And Well, I originated from here, but I was out in California for about 8 years. So during that time was you were part of the heyday, as well as at that time the San Francisco 49ers were in their heyday.
They were doing pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but keep up the good work. I hope the programs, somebody out there in Radio Land finds the need for your services. It's well.
You know, I got to tell you, I don't think there's any room for my services anymore in the radio business. I don't think there's room for many people's services in the radio business anymore. Radio is dying. That's really what's happening.
Well, would you say it has to do with the like Sirius and the other kind of programming?
No, I don't think Sirius has really had an impact, believe it or not, on the terrestrial broadcasting. I think it is simply. I think it's going to wind up having the same problems terrestrial broadcasting is having, which is, you know, the onslaught of the internet has brought so many other choices that people get siphoned off from all these media, and they're having a hard time surviving. I give AM radio about another 5 years, and I give FM maybe about another 10. And that's it. And then it's all off to whatever the next. But it's amazing that radio has lasted that long, because right now, as of the time that it was really invented, which was about 1900, it's lasted, you know, 113 years. So that's pretty good for one medium to last that long. Television's going to be dead a lot faster if it isn't already. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for taking my call. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
And we'll look to see you in the new year as well.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, our number is 212-604-9500. Give us a call. We'll talk to you right now. We're going to take a little break here, and when we come back, have some more stuff. I shouldn't drink soda and do the show at the same time, should I? Welcome back to our fine program. I'm Alex Bennett. This is the Great American Broadcast. It comes to you each and every day, Monday through Friday, although this week only Monday and Tuesday, next week only Monday and Tuesday, and after that, probably a new schedule, but I'll keep you apprised of that. Our number here, and I would love to get some more calls, because I just really like talking to people, you know. Whether it's Albert, I mean, the reason I always used to have like sidekicks and stuff was just somebody to talk to. And if a caller called, that took precedence over everything, and we'd love to hear from you. Excuse me if I'm doing this, but for some reason I got a neck ache that's just been killing me all day.
Would you swallow a Viagra?
Huh?
Did you swallow a Viagra?
Yeah, it made my neck stiff. Thank you. You know what I do take every day, though? I take, what is it, Cialis. You know?
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah, same thing. But what's interesting, well, the reason I take it is because I have this enlarged prostate, and I was taking this stuff called finasteride. And what finasteride does is rob you of all your sexuality. I mean, it's the worst drug ever. And what it does is what happens, the reason guys, as they get older, the prostate enlarges and stuff, is because of something in your system that your body needs. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. And what finasteride does is it supplies it or something, or inhibits it or something. But in any event, what it does is you never get an erection, and it just robs you of everything that is sexual about you. It's a horrible drug. But the reason they come up with a decision like this, like finasteride, they go, well, yeah, we know it prevents people from getting erections, and we also know that it causes blah, blah, blah. But it's, you know, these are old guys. What do they need their sexuality for anymore? So anyway, it turns out that what happens is God, you see, this is another reason I'm an atheist. God in his infinite failure. Oh, God has failures? Oh, yeah. In fact, you want to know one of God's big failures, Albert?
Please, enlighten me.
The foreskin.
Yeah.
So God said to Abraham, you know, I'm going to make you a covenant here. You will be fine and life will be wonderful for all the Jewish people if you simply follow a couple of rules. And one is that you look upon me as the only God, okay? And the other is, I swear to you, circumcision. All right? So if you cut off the tip of your penis and you believe in me as the only God, my covenant to you is that you will grow and multiply. And see, that was important because in Numbers, it was harder for you to be attacked. And so God made a covenant with Abraham. You follow these two rules and you shall prosper and go forward and have my covenant. So they said, okay, you're the only God. That's that's your ego. You're the only, yes, you're the only God, okay? And then they said, okay, then I guess we got to cut the tip of the penis off of these kids. Now, why, if you were God, would you say, well, believe in me as the only God? You understand that, okay? That's the kind of, right, Albert? That's the kind of thing. If you were God, you would say, hey, I got a few rules for you. I'm the only one, right?
Pretty straightforward. I'm the guy.
Pretty straightforward. I'm the guy. But then why your second thought as the Lord is, by the way, while you're at it, cut off the tip of everybody's penis. I can't figure that one out.
Did he specifically say, did he or she specifically say the male child?
The male child, yeah.
Was it the male, sir?
Yeah.
So where did this female circumcision come from?
Nothing. They just cut off the dicks of every guy they know.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, so that's how circumcision came to be. And it's because God, I think, the reason he said that was, all right, I made man, wow, he's perfect. I did so, oh, whoops, I really screwed up. See that thing hanging? It makes him look like a mole down below his pant line. I didn't mean for that to happen. I screwed up, but I can't fix it now, so I'll make a rule, right? And so circumcision came to be. Well, anyway, where was I? Oh, so God in his infinite wisdom really screwed up where the prostate was concerned. Now, if you were an engineer, Albert, would you build a donut that could get swollen around a tube that needs to have a flow?
Probably not.
No.
Unless there was a reason
you would
to do
take
that.
the tube, and what would you do with it? Here's the donut, right? You would move it here.
Right.
But no, that's the way God made it. So as a guy gets older, right, every guy, you guys, he got something to look forward to. It gets swollen, and it gets tighter and tighter. And so now you have to pee 2 times a day. Now 3 times a day. Now 4 times a day. Now 8 times a night, because only a little bit comes out at a time. So they got to solve the problem. So they came out with this stuff called finasteride. And what finasteride is this thing that then over a period of about 6 months shrinks the prostate, because it denies you, I'm trying to remember the chemical, I forget the name of it, but it's the thing that, makes you really sexual. And guys are bald because of it. If you have too much of that particular chemical, you will be bald. So I'm very proud that I had plenty of that. But anyway, what it does is it supplies you with, I think inhibits that particular stuff, and therefore it shrinks the prostate. Only in about maybe 40% of the people who use it. It worked for me. And then you're peeing all the time. You have no problem peeing and all that. All right, okay, enough of that. Now, they come along and they find out that the Cialis, this drug for guys, all right, who can't get it up, can't get, for lack of a better term, hard-ons. You know, the one where you got to buy 2 bathtubs? That's the only drawback to it, Albert. Got to buy 2 bathtubs.
I've seen that on the commercial.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why that was a good idea. Why some ad guy thought, 2 bathtubs, that's a good idea. And then the 2 people can be holding hands across bathtubs. Wouldn't you think that if you were taking a pill that got you hard as a rock, you'd both be in the same bathtub together?
Apparently it worked. People remember it.
Anyway, so Cialis, they found, had a side effect, and that is that it relaxed the muscle in the prostate so that this thing called BPH, which is benign prostate hyperplasia, would not take place, because what it would do is relax the prostate, so therefore the flow would be good. So I said to my doctor, I said, that's for me, because this finasteride stuff has just robbed me of everything, right? I haven't seen a hard-on in 2 years now. And so they gave me I switched over to the Cialis, and I get a boner all the time. I get a boner in the middle of the night when I'm not thinking about it. Remember when you were a kid, Albert, and you wake up with one?
Yep.
Yeah, I get those now because of the Cialis. So that's. But now here's the worst part about it. Okay, as you know, I'm on Medicare. What? I'm not on Medicare? You out of your mind? Of course I'm on Medicare. You know what Medicare doesn't cover, Albert?
Cialis.
Cialis. In other words, if you get like the Part D where you get all the prescriptions and stuff, it will not cover Cialis. It'll cover finasteride, but it won't cover Cialis. Why? Because they think it's a male enhancement pill. They don't realize, the government, that it's being used now in the case of BPH. So if I don't have some other insurance, which I do through my wife's work, I would have to pay $130 a month to get a hard-on. Getting old ain't for sissies. That's what Betty Davis once said. Anyway, when we come back, I think I'm going to sit at the desk for a while, Albert, because of the neck. But when we come back, I have a group of cringeworthy moments from the last year. Stay where you are. Some of them are really fun. Hey, welcome back. Hey, it's Alex. Hey. Welcome back. Oops. Oh, I felt a little bit like I was downtown at night during Christmas.
A little preview of New Year's.
A little preview of New Year's. I got to get some New Year's commercial breaks together over the next couple of days. So I'm on this thing called Media. By the way, we have a phone here. See this? That's the phone. And you could call it, 212-604-9500. I know you're out there. I can see that you are out there this morning in rather increasing numbers. Anyway, but you know, we go to a lot of different places to try and get clips. You know, it's getting harder, Albert, to get clips. I maybe get 2-3 clips a day. That's it now. And part of the reason is we made a policy on this program that we're sick and tired of seeing people on the internet grousing about politics. They all say the same thing. You know, this guy says this guy says that. So I get a couple of those a day, and that's about all I can get. But there's also precious anything else, Albert. Like somebody told these people, do not run our clips or something like that, because it's just now all like editorials and things like that. But one of the places I go is Mediaite. Are you familiar with Mediaite, Albert?
Yes.
Why it's called Mediaite, I have absolutely no idea. And all these people do a terrible job of editing these things, so I have to go back and re-edit them to make them better than they are. But Mediaite came out with a group of cringe-worthy moments on television this year. And I liked a bunch of them, so I have gotten you some to watch. They're all most of them are quick, right, Albert? They're not long. And I thought I would show you this because some of them are pretty amazing. First of all, Wolf Blitzer has a breaking news. You know, they have breaking news over at CNN?
And happening now.
And happening now? Talk about your breaking news. Listen to this.
I'm Wolf Blitzer reporting from Washington. The assassination of President Kennedy begins right now.
He's a little late on that one, isn't he?
Yeah, that's 50 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. It begins right now, yeah. Okay, very good. Who wrote that? He obviously was reading off a teleprompter. Which then brings us to, you know, I mean, you want cringe-worthy moments? I got cringe-worthy moments for you. How about Ted Cruz? And he was doing this filibuster. Remember the filibuster earlier this year?
Yeah, stopping the government.
And he was talking about everything. I think at one point he was reading The Cat in the Hat or something like that.
Right. Which was completely against what he was trying to do.
Yes, by the way. But anyway, at one point, I guess maybe he was getting punchy by this point, but listen to his analogy here.
And I will confess that phrase, a rebellion against oppression, conjured up to me the Rebel Alliance fighting against the empire. The empire being the Washington, D.C. establishment. And indeed, immediately on hearing that phrase, I wondered if at some point we were going to see a tall gentleman in a mechanical breathing apparatus come forward and say in a deep voice, "Mike Lee, I am your father."
That's pretty embarrassing, isn't it, Albert?
I'd say so.
Yeah, that's a cringe-worthy moment. There's no question about it. Thank you, Mediaite, for that. Then they show another cringe media moment, and this may not play that well for people who are just listening to the show, but you'll get the idea. Watch what happened on Fox and Friends. It's on Saturday because that's when Tucker Carlson is on Fox and Friends. Watch this.
He's really asleep. I don't think we're being good co-hosts right now.
Can you Good to see you. Welcome to Fox and Friends.
I know we're not on television, so it doesn't bother me.
No need to be embarrassed.
No.
This is a commercial break.
Honestly live?
Yeah.
In the 15 years of this program, I don't think that's ever happened.
Tucker Carlson fell asleep.
How do you know the difference?
You know, I used to work with Tucker over at MSNBC. I used to do his show every week as a pundit. And I and this guy in Florida who was very good, nice guy, I can't remember his name now. We both would go on and do battle with each other, and Tucker was in the middle. And Tucker was always very good to me. He was always very nice. And so I kind of have a fondness for Tucker. So when we make fun of him like this, it's because, well, come on, he fell asleep right there on the set. Now, there, you know, I over at MSNBC, I don't think they really know what they're doing over there. We're trying to be the anti-Fox. We're trying to suck up to all the liberals in the country who feel they have no place to speak. And then they pull something like this, and you go, this is pretty damn weird. Watch this, Melissa Harris Perry.
My producer Lorena made for me last week some tampon earrings because, of course, you'll remember that the Texas state legislature said that you couldn't bring tampons in when they were going. These women to, in fact, stand up for their own reproductive rights. You weren't allowed to initially to bring tampons. So just in case that ever happens again, ladies, you can just bring them on your earring.
And she's wearing, for those people who are just listening to us, tampon earrings. Pretty embarrassing, huh, Albert?
Could you imagine Walter Cronkite living now and seeing this as news? Can you imagine that?
Yeah, they're really passing off a lot as news lately, aren't they? Which brings us, of course, to one of our favorites, Sean Hannity. Somebody would just want to listen to what he has to say.
You were friends with O.J. Simpson. Did you know that he was?
Here we go with
did you know that he was going to be liable? What?
Guy's putting his hands over his ears.
Oh, Leah? All right, we got to go.
This is pretty good, aren't they, Albert? And, of course, I think we finish off with our favorite, Brian Kilmeade, over there at the, what is that Fox and Fiend show in the morning, and how he made a little kid cry.
You can't teach that. Actually, his dad, Joe, did. What could come out? Hey, you're a machine. You're a machine. How do you stop this?
Oops, I'm sorry.
That's how we stop it, Brian.
I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
See, that's Jordan rules right there.
Hit in the face.
He's going to face that when he plays ball.
I don't believe it. All right. We'll be right back. We'll see how Titus is. Sorry. Sorry, Dad.
So those are some cringe-worthy moments, folks. Cringe-worthy moments. That's well worth playing. Brian Kilmeade. You know what's on Friday, Albert? Or, Wednesday?
Christmas?
Forget Christmas. What's going to be on TV on Wednesday?
Oh, Doctor Who.
That's right.
That's right, the new Doctor.
What happens is that every time they fire the old doctor, they have to get a new doctor, and then they get a new doctor, and what they do in the episode where they're getting rid of the old doctor is he regenerates. No doubt and this is the guy who's going to regenerate into, Peter Capaldi, who you know from In the Loop and a lot of other TV and stuff over the years. He's the new doctor. He's going to be unusual, isn't he? A little different from the rest.
I hope so.
Yeah. He has a very quirky, he also can look really mean if he wants to, and you know. Anyway, the doctor, who's been played by Matt Smith up until now, is going to see his last episode on Christmas Day, in which the change is going to take place. I mean, women go through the change, and we don't look forward to that, but when the doctor changes, we all look forward to that. And it's every doctor who dies goes through a metamorphosis because they have to obviously bring in the next actor. And so it's called regeneration. And I guess in the pantheon of Who viewers, a regeneration episode is very important, isn't it?
It's the thing everybody wants.
It's the thing everybody wants. I think everybody waits for. Everybody waits for that moment when he regenerates, and all of a sudden, at least momentarily, you see the regeneration into, in this case, Peter Capaldi. By the way, Albert, trivia question. Tell me the only doctor who never had a regeneration episode.
I believe it's the guy with the blonde hair, number 8, I think.
Blonde hair?
Blonde. He wore a white outfit, primarily white. I don't remember the guy's name.
No, actually.
I know he was called the Doctor.
No, but actually it was, what's his name? Christopher, the one that started the whole new series.
Eccleston?
Eccleston.
I thought he did.
No. He never had he never regenerated from somebody else into, because there was the 8th Doctor, who was Paul McGann.
Right.
Paul McGann.
The blonde guy.
And he made it into a movie. I don't know if he was blonde. No, you're thinking of Peter Davidson.
I don't know.
Whose daughter, by the way, married David Tennant, who was one of the doctors. He was a doctor, had a daughter. She married a doctor. A Jewish mother's dream. Oh, you married a doctor. Anyway, so what happens with the Doctor Who thing is they made a movie for American TV with Paul McGann in it, and that was it. Okay, and then there was a pause of about 10 years before they did anything else with the Doctor. Maybe less than that, maybe 5, 6 years. And then they did the first episode that appeared on the BBC with kind of the new incarnation of the Doctor. And that was played by Christopher Eccleston. And he just shows up one day. He never metamorphosizes from, say, McGann. And in fact, we found out in a mini-sode that took place on the BBC that, in fact, the McGann character metamorphosized into John Hurt. But still, we never see Hurt metamorphosize into Christopher Eccleston.
Not yet.
You think this is boring anybody but people who watch Doctor Who?
Everybody is bored.
Everybody's bored by this. Anyway, we have a preview of what's going to happen this Wednesday, and this is the official BBC trailer for the final Matt Smith Doctor Who episode.
And now it's time for one last bow. Like all your other selves, 11's hour is over now. The clock is striking 12s.
The siege of Trenzalore is now begun.
The Time Lord has entered the trap.
Help him change the future. Do it.
The Doctor is regenerating! If you want my eyes, come and get it!
So we have that to look forward to, Albert. You looking forward to it?
Anytime the silence will fall, I look forward to it.
Oh, yeah, right. The what do they call those people again?
The silence.
The silence.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's this Wednesday. I guess they're going to show it in America the same time they're showing it in England, like they did with the.
I don't think so, because I believe it's on at 8 p.m.
Oh, really?
On Wednesday night, and certainly it's going to be on earlier in England.
Yeah, and how can you possibly get it from England? The reason it's starting to usually run these things day and date is because everybody who's a real fan, goes onto the interweb. Goes onto the internet and then downloads these things from the internet. So, anyway. Nobody's calling us, Albert. I feel lonely, like nobody wants me. Give me a call. Okay? So, right down there. There we go. 212-604-9500. 212-604-9500. In a moment, we'll go over to the news set, and we'll have much more for you. You know, I'm blowing out so many clips today, Albert. I don't know if I'm going to have any for tomorrow. But that doesn't matter, does it?
Not really. You'll find something.
I just don't want to have to work too hard tonight. We'll be right back. Stay where you are. Hold on a second. I didn't turn my monitor around here so that I can see correctly. There we go. Is that attractive, Albert, that I just have to take care of these things on the air?
It doesn't matter. Everybody knows it's TV.
Everybody knows it's TV. It's not TV. It's Alex.
Yeah.
It's Alex. It's not TV. It's Alex.
You know, it's no different from Talk Soup. They do the same thing. In fact, they have virtually the same set. Virtually.
Well, I mean, virtually. It's not the same set.
Right.
But this does look like the Talk Soup set, doesn't it?
Pretty close. Pretty damn close.
Yeah, except that it's just different backgrounds and stuff like that. You think they get their set made by the same guy that makes ours?
Yeah. Crazy Joe, the graphic guy.
Crazy Joe, the graphic guy. Who's on the line?
You know, I don't know. I haven't cleared that yet. But Bob from Ohio.
Oh, hello, Bob from Ohio. How are you?
Okay. How are you, Alex?
Good.
I can't hear you too well, but I called to talk about getting older.
Yeah.
I was in a barber shop, I guess it was a barber shop, down in Florida. I was about 42 or so. It was 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the barber, I overheard him talking. He said, well, you know, turning 50, he said, when I turned 50, it wasn't that really that big a deal, and that was okay. Now, when I turned 60, though, that really hit me. And I thought, wow, I'm only 42. I got a long way to go. Well, then I turned 50. Well, 50 really didn't seem to be that big a deal to me. But then this year I turned 60. And, yeah, I felt like that was kind of a big deal turning 60. So I wanted to ask you if you had the same thing, and what happens when you turn 70?
You want to kill yourself.
Well, I'm not too happy about 60.
You know what it is? What always is kind of amazing to me is how it all creeps up on you. Like, look, I've had a lot of people, friends of mine, die this year. One was my same exact age, probably separated by a couple of weeks in birthdays, right? And then I had my friend Al Goldstein. He died at 77 just the other day.
Can you turn yourself up a little in the phone?
Yeah, the only problem is it then distorts things. Other people didn't seem to be having the same problem, but I'll turn you up. Let me see here. Is that better?
No, not really.
Not really. Well, I can't do anything then.
That's better.
What's better?
You're better now.
In other words, if I talk like this, can you hear me good now?
Oh, excellent.
See, that's because we're okay. I'll hold the phone down here. Anyway, because it should be working. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay now?
Okay.
Okay. Somebody pushed a button here. That was the problem.
Somebody? There's not that many people there.
Well, no, this is a studio that runs the rest of the day, too, when we're not here.
Oh,
so somebody could have pushed a button. Okay, in any event, okay, where were we? Oh, yeah.
And other people started dying around you.
Yeah, and I'm saying, but I'm still standing, knock on screen. And that kind of gets to you after a while. Like, you know, I mean, I know that John Cleese used the term on a show I was doing with him one day in which he was talking about his own mortality, and he says, as you get older, with the grave ever yawning, and I sometimes feel that way, you know, the grave is ever yawning. You know, I'm alive today, and I'm healthy. I mean, a little stomach problem, and my neck's killing me. But outside of that, I'm healthy. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Well, knock on fire. Oh, ow! Ooh, that is a fireplace, Albert.
That was nice.
Me.
I like that. That was well done.
Huh?
That was as good as your Pope impersonation.
But really,
or the guy who knocks on the door to come in.
Oh, I see. Okay. In any event. You know, you start really going into your own mortality. I mean, I've got these friends who a few weeks ago, you know, a month ago, 2 months ago, I was talking to, and now they're dead. You know, I can't talk to them anymore. They're not part of my life any longer. They're not part of this life any longer, and they're in some place becoming mulch. You know?
Oh yeah, and then a lot of times too, when you start seeing entertainers that you grew up with that you really enjoyed.
I don't care about them as much as I care about people I know. No, I've had quite a few friends die. Who was the comedian? Oh God, my mind's a blank. See, that's what happens when you get older. You know who I'm talking about, Albert, the comedian.
Can you be less specific? The comedian.
Our producer went out with our board op went out with his daughter.
Schimmel.
Bob Schimmel.
Bob Schimmel.
Bob Schimmel died, and Schimmel was a good friend. Must be a good friend. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah.
And when Schimmel died, that got to me too, because to begin with, he was always sick. He always had cancer. He always had the brain problems. One thing and another. You know what killed him? He was in a car and it crashed.
Yeah.
You know, so all these things start happening, and you don't feel too good about things, you know?
Another thing.
And then when you find you're out of work and you hope that you die before you run out of money, I think, you know life's changing for you.
I noticed sometimes I do these online surveys, and sometimes you get points and get gift cards, and they always have the age range. It always cuts off at either 60 or 64, and then says above 65. Like everybody above 65, what does that mean? Your opinion is too cloudy then?
Well, well, I mean, look at me. Look at the business and work and show business. I have friends. Are you ready for this? I have friends who are writers in television. All right. Now, being a writer in television, you ever see a writer? No. You ever hear a writer? No. They simply write and people read their words, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that if you're past 50, you're over the hill for being a writer in Hollywood?
Mm-hmm.
What's that about? You would think as you get older, you become a better writer.
Well, it must have something to do with the kind of topics that you think about. And you know, like when you get older, sometimes you've got some of the younger music that comes out, and you don't know who it is or whatever. Then you really start to sound like your parents did.
Well, yeah, but the fact is, let's say you're writing a sitcom, okay? What is age relevant about a sitcom in most cases? I mean, couldn't somebody in their 70s, if they were still a good writer, write an episode of Modern Family?
Well, you might think so, but
Yeah.
maybe they've tried doing that before with people over 50, and in the long run, it didn't work out so well. I don't know.
And in spite of the fact that I have a hard time remembering names, that was always my problem. I always had trouble remembering names, even when I was 30, okay? But I think that I still can do a good job, you know? And there's no problem with my age impeding my abilities in broadcasting. And yet, I think, you know, one of the reasons I won't be able to get a job now is age. I walk in the door and somebody will look at me and they think I'm from outer space.
Well, yeah, that does happen all the time, I guess, now.
Yeah, so, I mean, you probably notice it yourself. You know?
Well, on another note, I listen to you mostly on TuneIn now. It has less quirks than the live stream does sometimes, and plus I get so tired of looking at that guy with the toilets from the insurance commercial.
Oh, I have no idea what goes on with the commercials. I never have to see them.
But I'm enjoying it.
Good. I'm glad you are. And, you know, outside of that, you listen to us on TuneIn and have to hear that repetitive Christmas music. But outside
I liked it. I like it.
Yeah. But, you know, we're, yeah. I wish more people were listening to us on TuneIn. I think
Well, actually, I've got you on the live stream on my TV here, and I've got you on TuneIn just in case the live stream kicks out.
Right, right.
So
that's good. That's
double
good.
trouble.
Well, right now we have this wonderful fireplace back here. Oh, can't get too close.
It's hot. I gotta get up and take off these fleece-lined sweats I'm wearing.
What's strange is that's playing on our screen, and it kind of looks like it. We actually do have a fireplace in the studio.
It looks good.
Yeah, I could do that all winter. That's nice. Anyway, thanks for calling.
Okay.
And so you're how old now?
I turned 60 this year.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, Betty Davis said it, getting old ain't for sissies.
Well, one nice thing about it is when you get to this age, you really start relishing more every day, and it kind of, in a certain sense, I think it kind of improves things because it's like, wow, I don't have as many of these days left as I did beforehand, so I'm going to do what I can to enjoy it.
You know what was kind of interesting when I was a kid, when I was a boy, I grew up in a period of time where if you were a kid, you had no worth in this society. You know, you always wondered why people wouldn't listen to your ideas and things like that. And nobody made it until they were maybe 30. You know, I got no respect in the radio business until I hit at least 30, okay? And now, if you're 30, you're over the hill. You know, kids who are 18 are becoming big national stars. Everybody wants a script from an 18-year-old. Everybody wants music from an 18-year-old. And I'm going, gee, I wish my life were that way before because I could have really kicked ass. You know, but that's how times change. It is a youth venerating society, and there ain't nothing we can do about it except just get older and live with it.
No. Well, you take care.
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. I'm Alex Bennett. We'll take a break now, and eventually we'll get to the news. We really will. I'm serious about this. I mean it. Hey, welcome back. Here we are in our news set. As we have two sets on this program now. We just like having all kinds of. We even have a weather set, but we don't need that today, do we? Although maybe tomorrow we should go over to the weather board, right, Albert?
No, you don't need that now.
But maybe tomorrow we will, so people will know what it's going to be like during Christmas. Plus, it is snowing elsewhere in the country and brutally cold, I might add. It's just we've had unseasonably summer-like temperatures here, spring-like temperatures here in New York. Hey, everybody, why don't we take time out now to do something we do each and every day, and that is take a look at the news. There There it is, N-E-W-S, right there. First of all, you know, the Duck Dynasty thing is just, it continues to be a real problem. It seems as though this, what's his name, Robertson? What's his first name?
Phil.
Phil Robertson, this guy here. The guy from ZZ Top. How many times am I going to do that joke? I guess I can put that to sleep now. But that's Phil Robertson. He is the patriarch of the Duck Dynasty clan. I guess he's an old guy, right? Very Christian. And A&E sets up an interview with him with GQ, because I'm sure they set up the interview. I don't think GQ called up Phil Robertson and said, we want to interview you. I'm sure somebody was out there flacking it, right? And he does a whole bunch of things, and he's putting down gay people, and rump roasters aren't going to be able to make it into heaven or something like that. You know, they're not going to get all the wonderful things because they're committing a sin. They're committing stuff against God. The guy's basically a religioso, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm an atheist for reason of guys like this, that they're in this religious thing in which, you know, the God that I am familiar with, the one that is in the Bible, who's quite vengeful, by the way, at times, however, is quite forgiving and giving to people who have little. You know, I mean, Christ always preached about, you must help the lesser people in this world, and you must tolerate everyone. And then this guy comes along and reads the same piece of literature, and because he can't read straight, interprets it to his own needs, and now he pisses everybody off because he's gone out after gays. And now, all of a sudden, the right-wingers are defending him. Now, but mind you, the right-wingers didn't defend a lot of other people, such as, Martin Bashir. Who else were we thinking of the other day, Albert, that they didn't come out to defend? But yet they're coming out to defend this little slime bag because he's talking about God, and he has a right to his opinion about God. And I agree he has a right to his opinion. I just don't think that his opinion is a very nice one, and I think that it's very derogatory and deleterious to the well-being of those people who don't fit into his idea of what's right and what's wrong. Consequently, a big controversy has swelled around this show, Duck Dynasty, which, come on, don't we have better things to do? I guess we don't. Anyway, here is Religioso Supreme, Mike Huckabee, who happens to be a rather nice guy. We've had him on the show, right, Albert? Nice guy.
Very, very nice.
Very nice guy. But on the other hand, he's also one of these really religious guys. And here was his whole take on the Duck Dynasty on Fox News Sunday.
Briefly, why is this such a big deal for you? Well, because I think it's come to a point in our culture where political correctness has made it so that if you want to take a point of view that is traditional, that holds to steadfast, old-fashioned, biblical Christian values, which are also, by the way, values of traditional Judaism and Islam, then somehow you're supposed to just shut up and keep that to yourself. But if you want to advocate for same-sex marriage, we're supposed to be very tolerant. I'm tolerant of people who have a position on that issue that is contrary to mine, but I'm not tolerant of the intolerance. And so what we've seen is that there's a new level of bullying on the part of these militant activist groups who, if anyone says something that holds to the same position that Barack Obama held in 2008 when he, at the Saddleback Church with John McCain, made it very clear that he opposed same-sex marriage, and he said he did so because he was a Christian and because of his biblical views. Well, if that position was okay in 2008, how come it isn't okay in 2013 or 2014?
See, but there's something that you're not remembering, Mike, is that several years later, since this was 2008, and by the way, this is 2013 now, 5 long years have passed. I think it was last year sometime that Barack Obama said he had rethought his beliefs. He had rethought them, okay? And he'd come to a new feeling that gay marriage probably should be recognized. thereby involving himself in something that's a very big deal to religious people like yourself, which is redemption. He had a redemptive moment in which he said, the feelings that I've had all along have changed. And you know something? All our feelings as we go through life are subject to change because we get new information or we get new insights or whatever. And so the president changed his mind. But you don't mention that. You simply go back to what he said at the Saddleback Church with John McCain in 2008 and say that's the way he's got to feel today. And he doesn't. I'm not going to argue with Mike Huckabee on the fact that Phil Robertson is a religious guy and he's simply saying what he believes religiously. I do think he's a bigot. I do think he's a homophobe. I do think he probably, because of his statements about race, that the blacks were better off with Jim Crow than they are now. Is somewhat of a racist, but what do you expect? Look at him. Put his picture back up again, Albert. Look at him. This is not going to be a racist? You know? What do you expect? The guy who thinks...
I don't know that that's the right thing to do either, is say, look at him, he's got to be this. Now you're judging a book by its cover.
Am I being a beardist?
Yes, you certainly are. A beardist and glassist.
A glassicist. You know, I mean, and a pox or an epoxy on the houses over there that call themselves A&E, the network that this guy is part of, because as I said earlier, you put these guys on the air in the first place, and I'm sure you even set up the interview with GQ. And then when all of a sudden the heat is on you, you've got to just disavow everything. Oh, you've got to distance yourself from it. Well, here's something Phil Robertson is going to have to distance himself from. Have you ever heard of a guy named Scott Gurney, Albert?
Not until recently, no.
Yes, Scott Gurney is the creator and producer of Duck Dynasty. He's the guy, I guess, that found these guys and said that would make a good show, and he went to A&E and talked them into it. He is their producer. He is their creator. Well, no, God is his creator, but you know what I'm saying, okay? I want you to see what Scott Gurney did for a living before he was the creator and producer of Duck Dynasty. Play it, Albert. That's not him, the other guy is. Him. That's Scott Gurney.
What you thinking about?
I don't know, a bunch of things. What about you?
Nothing much. Some hot babes out here, man.
Yeah.
You see that mama seat at the front desk? Man, the way she looked at me. Hey, you know what it is? It's the blonde hair, man. They really like blonde guys. It's gonna make it real easy to get laid.
Mm-hmm.
Gets me heated up just thinking about it. See?
No, Johnny, I can't.
Can't what?
I can't fluff you anymore.
Has Phil Robertson seen this film, Albert?
I'm sure by now he has.
This is the producer and creator of Duck Dynasty. And I don't know that. I don't think it was a porn film, but it was about gays. And, of course, that guy gets a... you know what a fluffer is?
Yeah, I know what a fluffer is.
For those of you who don't know the term fluffer, fluffer is usually a person on the set of an adult film whose business it is to get the performers ready to perform. Usually on a straight porn film, it would be a woman who spends most of her day working on her knees. What?
What is it? I thought it was a marshmallow jam.
No, Albert.
Is it not? Oh, you've destroyed my...
A fluffer gets a guy up so that when he goes on set, he's got a heart on. Okay? That's the nicest way I can put it. Huh?
I got it now. I got it.
Okay. And by the way, the name of the movie is The Fluffer. You know what Elvis Presley's favorite candy treat was? Wasn't
Marshmallow
it
fluff.
Fluffernutter or something?
Fluffernutter. No, he liked peanut butter and banana.
Peanut butter and bananas?
Yeah.
But wasn't it Fluffernutter too?
Or banana and bacon sandwich. Something
Banana
like that.
and bacon sandwich. No
Whatever
wonder
the worst combination is, he liked it.
No wonder he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we like our bacon, don't we, Albert?
Yeah, but not with bananas or peanut butter.
No, not at all. Anyway, that's that's what's going on with this whole stupid, ridiculous deal about Duck Dynasty, and it continues. I mean, it predominated the Sunday shows. That's the thing that got to me. You turn on the Sunday shows, and here was Face the Nation talking about it. Here was Meet the Press. By the way, have you heard about Meet the Press?
What about it?
They're going to make big changes over
Under
there.
the gun?
Huh?
Under the gun, right?
Well, it used to be the #1 Sunday talk show, and it's now like #3 after ABC News. And #1 is that old craggy fart. Is it Bob Schieffer?
Schieffer.
Yeah, who does Face the Nation. And believe me, I don't think he even knows where he is anymore. But he's #1. But Meet the Press has had real ratings problems. So you know what the rumor is they're going to replace him with?
Duck Dynasty.
They're going to get rid of David Gregory and replace him with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski.
Why
Morning
not?
Joe team. That's the rumor. That's what's going on. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at some pictures on our screen here and tell you what these pictures are all about. That's the kind of television I like, where there are lots of pictures. We'll be right back. By the way, do you know who just died? I won't do it people who died, but it just came through on my iPad from the New York Times. And when I swiped it, it went to the New York Times, but I can't find the article. Kalashnikov is dead. Do you know who Kalashnikov is?
No.
He was the guy who invented the AK-47.
I'll take your word for it.
And he's dead. You know, I mean, I could make jokes about it, but everybody dies. He's probably an older guy now. But didn't they used to call them the Kalashnikovs? The guns, the rifles were known as Kalashnikovs?
Yeah, I think I remember the term from 60s movies, 60s spy thrillers.
Yeah, he's got a Kalashnikov.
Right.
Yeah. That's probably the Russian name for it. Anyway, he's dead. He's gone. Oh, who's on the phone? Well, who do we got? Hello? Evan.
Hello.
Oh, Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Yep. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
So I just wanted to say, Albert made a good point a few minutes ago about judging a book by its cover. If you take Honey Boo Boo and that show, you would assume them to be a bunch of racists and bunch of backwards, same thing as what you have with Phil Robertson, except there is a uncle on Honey Boo Boo who is Uncle Poodle, and he's gay.
Yeah.
So you've got two shows that essentially are the same thing, but one had a gay cast member, and the other, you know, what you saw with Duck Dynasty. So I've never seen Duck Dynasty before. So because
they do have a gay guy on. Well, they did have a gay guy on Duck Dynasty. Unfortunately, it was their cousin, so they dressed him up as a mallard and took him out to a duck blind. So.
Well, that would be a bad thing, wouldn't it?
That would be a bad thing. Yes, it would.
Yeah. Well, I had never seen Duck Dynasty, so this weekend I watched 1.5 episodes, and that was all I could handle.
I don't think I've even tried that, to be honest with you. I mean, it just doesn't appeal to me on any level.
No, that was the thing, and I thought I'll give it a shot, see what all the big deal is, and it's just a bunch of guys sitting around talking.
But listen, I understand Honey Boo Boo. Okay, I understand why Honey Boo Boo is a hit. It's because people like to see a bunch of people that are stupider than they are. Okay?
Right.
I understand the appeal of that show. I don't understand the appeal of this. These guys make me want to go out and take a bath after I watch them. You know?
Well, and that was the
on
thing,
no level do I feel attracted to them.
The show and a half I watched, they were basically sitting around in their office or whatever it was, and then one of them went out and he shot a hog, and that was about the only excitement in the whole damn show.
Well, it's kind of like an episode of the Kardashians.
Well,
there are a lot of hogs on that show too. What?
Yeah, I guess you could say that too with Kim.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, I get what the controversy is, but this fucking show is going to die on its own anyway.
I don't even get what the controversy is. He is no different than any number of religious fanatics who have a hard-on against gays because it goes against the Bible. You know. And you know, rather than attack the whole thing about religion creating intolerance, we changed the debate to, oh, it's Phil Robertson's fault. No, it's not his fault. It's the Bible's fault. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, they hired them. They knew what they were getting. And then they act surprised afterwards.
Oh, yeah, they always do those mea culpa notes, too, you know, those press releases.
That's just stupid. And frankly, after watching the show, I can't see it surviving for more than another season. Because there's nothing on the fucking thing.
Well, I mean, yet when it debuted this year, it had the highest ratings in the history of reality TV. Are you ready for that?
Who the hell is watching it?
Right.
And I don't know anybody that watches.
Well, you want me to tell you somebody else that's stupider? Albert, put up the tweet. If you're a public relations person, if that's your job, do you put up a tweet as Justine Sacco did that said, I'm going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white. Now, this is a public relations executive. She says she's ashamed that she joked on Twitter about AIDS in Africa. Justine Sacco created an online furor Friday when she tweeted just before boarding a plane to South Africa, and then I just read what it was, denouncing the comment as racist and insensitive. Thousands of users got on her back. Fired by her New York-based internet company yesterday, Sacco today issued a statement today saying words cannot express how sorry she is. Well, of course, she lost her job. And that it was necessary for her to apologize to the people of South Africa.
Way dumber than what Phil Robertson said.
Sacco says her comment came in a needless, careless tweet. Her father said, are you ready for this? This is her father's statement. I'm so incredibly ashamed of her. She's a fucking idiot. That's her father.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's her father.
I think that her father is from South Africa.
Oh, really?
And she grew up in the States and didn't spend a lot of time there.
Oh, really?
That's
I didn't read the whole story.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. And then there's something about Steve Martin said something online, too.
Yeah, that's just reported today. Somebody was asking him for the correct spelling of a certain word, and he said that depends on whether you're in a black neighborhood, in an African-American neighborhood, or an Italian restaurant.
But what's the word?
I don't know what the word was.
See, because then I don't get the joke. But
well,
I love this. Going to Africa.
Let me get the word for you. Hold on.
Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white. Good going. I'm hiring her as my new PR person.
I hadn't heard that one, but that's way better than Phil Robertson's comment.
Oh,
the word was Lasonia.
Lasonia?
Lasonia.
And so how's that a joke? It all depends whether you're in a black neighborhood or an Italian restaurant.
I guess it could sound like an Italian meal or an Italian food. Or it could sound like a female, African-American female name.
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't think it's that racist.
Well, the guy's a comedian.
Yeah.
He took the shot and it didn't
She's
work.
a PR person.
Right.
Anyway, thank you very much for calling, Patrick. Always appreciate it.
You bet.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.
A few other pictures on our wall this morning that are getting news. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Let's see here. Target, of course, is in trouble. 40,000. Yes, I repeat it again. Turn down the phone, I think. Yeah, there, the hum goes away. 40,000 people had their credit cards compromised. And as a result, a lot of people are checking. You got to, if you go to Target and you use your credit card and you used it in the last couple of weeks, look at your bill coming from your credit card company, because if there's anything there that you didn't buy, you were compromised. In the meantime, do like Albert did. He went to Target this weekend. 10% off everything, right?
Yeah, your whole bill.
Your whole bill. Does that include the already discounted prices for Christmas?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think it's in effect anymore. It was just this past weekend.
Okay. I don't think that's enough for people who have had their lives ruined by this, but, you know, it's a start. They're still going to get sued, don't you think, by people?
No, I don't think they can.
You can't sue?
I don't think for that, no. I'm sure there's something in the credit card agreement that says, you know, these things happen, and that's the way life goes.
And Tom Cruise is throwing in the towel in his lawsuit against a tabloid publisher. According to court papers obtained by TheWrap.com, the Hollywood star has dropped legal action filed when Bauer Media's Life and Style published stories suggesting he had abandoned daughter Suri after his split from Katie Holmes. He brought a $50 million defamation suit against him, but he's dropped it. You know why they usually drop it, Albert?
Guilty?
Not so much guilty, but there's enough evidence in their mind to make him look bad, and you don't want it to go to court.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to look any worse than he already does.
Yeah, I wish I could find a bad picture of Tom Cruise, because, you know, I love the bad pictures. Like we have a bad picture of Susan Boyle that we love, but I couldn't find an ugly picture of Tom Cruise. I guess he just doesn't allow them to get taken. So, there he is.
There's your favorite.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's a great picture, isn't it?
That's a good picture of her.
That's a good picture. Do you have that bad picture of her, Albert?
Yeah, hold on.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, there's a bad picture of her. That's a good picture. But there's a bad, there's the bad picture of Susan Boyle right there. Nice kitty, nice kitty, nice. Okay, anyway, let me see here. Any other pictures? Oh, yeah, Charlie Sheen. I couldn't find a bad picture of Charlie Sheen either. I was looking for one of those pictures where he was going crazy. They don't seem to be anywhere to be found.
Winning.
Charlie Sheen's weighing in on the Duck Dynasty controversy as days after A&E suspended Robertson over anti-gay comments made in an interview, blah, 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 blah. Charlie Sheen is taking his position on the matter, making it clear. He launched into what some are calling a bit of a Twitter tirade yesterday, saying Robertson had, quote, offended and hurt so many dear friends of mine. He went on to call Robertson a shower dodger and the only surviving brain donor he's ever known. You know, sometimes Charlie's just really cool.
What's that mean, a shower dodger?
He doesn't take showers.
Doesn't wash? Okay.
Yeah, he dodges showers. When we come back, we'll finish off, and we'll finish off in space. Stay where you are, okay, everybody? Don't go away. Well, that about winds up our show for today. We're going to finish off with something that Albert and I both love a lot. We love space, don't we, Albert? We love space.
It's the final frontier.
It's the final frontier, and if Albert and I had our way, we'd be doing it, right?
Yeah, I'd give it a shot. Why not?
I mean, people say to me, I'm not the bravest guy in the world, but I'm willing to take a shot at space travel. And so they were fixing the space station this weekend. They had a problem with the air conditioner and an ammonia, something with ammonia. Ammonia, get off. Anyway, ammonia creator or something that helped with air cooling, and they had to go out. They had to do a extravehicular spacewalk, and they went out there and they did a few things. One of the suits got bad. You remember the bad suit they had last time?
The drown suit?
Filled up with water?
Yeah.
And they fixed that one, but now the other one filled up with water. So they have to fix it, and they have to go out, do a whole bunch of stuff. But they're going back out there again, I think it's tomorrow, and try and finish up the job. But we just love space, so we're going to finish with them just out there floating around fixing stuff. In the meantime, I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same station in life. Hope you get your Christmas shopping done. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay?
Well, coming up.
2 NASA astronauts have set out on a spacewalk to carry out repairs at the International Space Station. Part of the ISS cooling system automatically shut down last week after detecting abnormal temperatures. While NASA says the ISS crew aren't in danger, the partially running cooling system isn't enough to keep supporting all the laboratories on the US side, so needs to be fixed. This is the first of 3 planned spacewalks to rectify the problem.
Looks like it's released. Hold on.
American astronauts Rick Mastracchio and Mike Hopkins are due to disconnect a pump containing a faulty valve. Beautiful day, awesome view were Mastracchio's words as he opened the hatch to step out into space.
Probably a 7